Hi, I'm Nivetha. Today I'll be walking through what I have built for DocuSign Capstone project using CLM. CLM is contract lifecycle management used in the creation and management of the contracts. CLM provides some features like CLM task, CLM files, and custom button. We can configure the custom button from DocuSign Setup tab, and once we have configured the DocuSign with Salesforce, we can add the CLM tasks and CLM files from the Lightning App Builder. Now I am going to create a contract from the opportunity object. So we can create the contract through two ways. I'm starting with the standard template way. These are the form values which will be pre-populated from Salesforce. Once I have completed all the necessary fields, if any fields needs any changes, we can update here. Once I give next, these values will be updated in the template with the help of the merge tags. Merge tags brings in the values of the data which we are giving. This is the sample document which I have given the merge tag for each of the value which I need to populate. Once I have complete the save, task will be assigned to the legal to review the document. The legal has the ability to review the document and proceed with the next step. Now the legal can send the document for the internal review, and we can see the attributes used in the document here. We can also update the attributes value over here if we need any updation. So I am sending the document for the internal review. If we need any change in the document, we need to upload the document, download the document, make the change and upload the document. So I don't want this section. So I'm removing it and I'm saving the document. Once the document is saved, I'm uploading as a new version here. Need to upload the new version. Once the upload is complete, we can compare the new version with the old version. So we can check this checkbox and compare the old version of the document with the new version of the document. So you can see this line is being removed in the new version. After this, I am sending the document for the internal review. A task will be assigned to the for the legal to choose the user. Since in this case I am the legal and I am the internal user, I have been redirected to the choose user page. Choosing the internal user. One again, a task will be created for the internal user to review the document. So I have reviewed the document. Everything looks good. So I'm going to add a comment and proceed with the next step. If the internal user is reviewed, and also I'm updating the opportunity simultaneously based upon the task assigned there in the CLM. Let's see, the legal has sent for internal review. You can see the 2020. The legal has to choose the next option. So I'm sending it for the external review. So the legal has to select the external user. So I'm selecting the external user, adding the message. Also, you could see that the description has been updated and I'm sending. So the external will receive an email. The external is an non-DocuSign user, so he can review the document through online. So I've received the email. Now I'm going to review the document online. Once the document is reviewed, I can view next. If we have any changes, we need to download this document and upload as a new version. Since there is no changes, I'm skipping the step and adding the comment. Once the document is reviewed, the external user will receive an email for the feedback and the internal user too will get an email. So the next task will be assigned to the legal for the next step. So the legal will have to proceed with the next step, that is sending the document for signature. So you can see the description has been updated to send for signature and the task I'm going to send for signature. This will be redirected to DocuSign e-signature. The Recipient details are been auto-populated from the form, and I have been set as signing order, which will be needed if we need the one person signed and next person to sign like that. We need to set the signing order. If I don't need the signing order, we can uncheck the checkbox. So I'm going to the next step. I will have to add the standard signature fields for the person. So currently the external user is here. I will add this field to the external user and the sign date for the external user. Similarly, I have to add the signature for the internal user and the date sign for the internal user. We can preview here the document by clicking the preview button. We can view as both the users here. So I am viewing the document as the internal user. So this is how the document looks for an internal user. If everything looks fine, we can send the document for the signature. Here we have received the email to sign the document. So I'm going to sign the document. Once I viewed the document, the internal user will get an email. And once the external user complete the sign, then only the internal user can sign the document. I'm signing, and then I will finish. So I've got the email to sign as the internal reviewer. I'll sign here. As you can see, the signature dates are auto-populated based on the current date. I'll give finish. Once the send for signature action is completed, the document will be captured under the account object. You can see the workflow execution here. And the workflow is still executing. The document is not updated here. We'll wait for a second for the document to get written. Yeah. This updated signed document has been updated in the Salesforce. We can view this document here. You can see that both the parties have been signed. and the document is stored in the Salesforce. So let me proceed with the third party upload for the creation of a contract. Let me click create contract. Third party upload. Need to fill the necessary fields. I'll update the payment terms. Okay, for third party upload, we need to update the document. So I'm going to upload a document. Save. A task will be created for the sales manager approval. If the sales manager approve the document, then the document will be sent to the legal. If the sales manager reject the document, the workflow will be stopped. So I'm now approving the document. You can see the attributes here, description updated. So I'm going to approve. Once the document is approved, a task will be created for the legal to proceed with the next step. So I'll be sending for the signature. You could see the description updated. So if we reject the request means the workflow will be ended, but I'm sending for signature. It will be redirected to DocuSign e-signature where we need to add the standard signature fields. Let me proceed to the next step. I'm going to add the standard fields, name, title, signature, and the date sign. Similarly, I'll add it for the internal user, signature, date sign, name, and the title. So I will send it. Once the document has been sent for signature, there will be no tasks. Now we can go and sign the document. I'll review the document and sign the document. Once an external user signs the document, the internal user will need to sign the document. Oh, sorry, I opened the wrong. Okay, I'll sign the document. I'll give finish. Now the internal user will receive an email to sign the document. As an internal user, I will review the document. Okay, the document has been signed. We can now see the workflow activity, whether the workflow has been completed or it's been executing. So executing, once the execution is completed, a document will be created under the account. Let's refresh this page. Here you can see the status of the contract of document signed, and yeah, you can see the CRM signed file in the CRM file tab. I will open the file and I will show you main document. You can see the document unsigned and the field being filled. That's it with the demo for the contract signature. Let me proceed with the workflow that I have built for this demonstration. Okay. So this is the workflow that I have used for the contract updation or creation. So let me start with the first step. The first step is we are creating variables and updating the variable for the document. So I first step is I'm updating the customer name variable with the form data. Then I'm using the information and updating the information. Then I'm creating the folder with that variable which I have updated from the first step. A folder will be created under the contracts with the opportunity name. Once the folder is created, I am assigning the folder to a variable. I'm using this variable for moving the document to the folder. I'm used the copy or move document to the contract folder elements. Once the steps is completed or success, I'm updating all the variables with the form data. Once that's variable updated, I'm updating the document metadata or the document attributes with the variable. I'm updating the CSV here. The main purpose of the CSV file is for storing the records which are being used in the workflow. Let me show you an CSV file. Okay, this is the doc. Let me go to the document tab. So this is the main folder for my Capstone CLM project. This is the XYZ Corporation folder. Under that folder, we have sales folder, admin folder, and workflow folder. Sales folder will show the contracts that have been sent for review, and the admin folder will have all the configuration files that needed for the workflow. So I'll show the CSV mapping file. Let me download the file and I'll show you the purpose of the CSV. Okay. Here, based on the approver, I have given email ID for approval and legal. This email ID is used for the document review or document approval. Once the workflow has been deployed to production, we need not update the workflow. We can just update the CSV file so that the CSV file is called in workflow, that the workflow uses the value. That is the purpose of the update CSV file. So once the variables have been updated with the CSV value, we can use this variable in the workflow. So the next step is I'm determining two rules. The rule is when you select the document as sent for external review, if it is true means it will go for the standard template way. If the send for review external is false means it will go for the sales approval manager. So first I'm going to show the sales approval manager workflow. First I'm updating the document keyword as the sales manager approval. Then I'm updating the Salesforce with the update Salesforce element. And then I'm using an approval element. This element will determine the document to get approved or rejected based on the step. If the document is approved, I'm sending it to the legal. If the document is rejected, I'm finishing the workflow. Once it enters the legal review, the legal can determine with any one of these steps. So the next is the sending standard template. The condition is true. So I am giving the document the visibility with the document visibility element. Then if this is success, I'm sending it to the legal review. The legal review has 4 options. This is a choice element. I've given the choices here. Send for internal review, send for vendor review, send for signature, or cancel the workflow. So if the legal selects as the send for internal review, this steps is followed and we are updating the Salesforce object. Then After this updation, we're updating the document keyword as sent for internal review. Once the send for internal review is a success, the legal needs to choose the user who as the internal reviewer. Once this action is completed, the internal reviewer will review the document. If action is completed or rejected, both the document are sent to the legal review. After the step, the legal review next select the send the document for the vendor review. Here also I am updating the Salesforce. Once the Salesforce is updated, I am updating the document keyword. After the document keyword, uh, the review and send for external signature action task is created. Once the task is created, the reviewer reviews the document. If we complete the document without review the document without document, it will go and update the variable as completed without document. If we update the review the document with the document, like make any changes, it will update the variable as completed with document. Once the variable updated, the task is being again assigned to the legal. Legal again sends the document for send for signature. I'm updating the Salesforce and then updating the keyword. Then if it is a success, I'm updating, sending the document for review and signature. If based on the signature action, if the signature is failed or cancelled or rejected, I'm updating the variable based on these failure paths. This is called exception handling of workflows. Since if any failure or anything occurs, we are giving a separate path for the workflow to happen again. So once any failure happens, I'm updating the variable and again sending it back to the legal. If the if the document is signed, I'm updating a variable as signed. This can the failure status is captured from the signature audit, which will be generated from a successful workflow execution. After this, I'm updating the Salesforce again as a document signed and updating the document metadata value with the signed date. When the after the document is signed, I'm creating an folder to store the signed contract for SF and I'm moving and copying the document to that folder. Once this action is completed, the workflow is finished. Okay. Some of the best practices that needs to be followed during workflow creation are there should not be any cross links between the workflow paths. We need to have an finish step for each workflow, and there should be separate lanes for based upon the scenario. So I have created lanes also, separate lanes for the workflow. Okay, let me proceed with the user management. So for creating a DocuSign user, we need to have access for the DocuSign admin. Only admin can create a user. Once we click the admin tab, we can create user from this tab and create groups from this tab. We can view the list of users from the account users. here, and we can view the list of groups here. There are three types of profile formation for CLM user, that is CLM admin, CLM viewer, and a CLM user. CLM admin has the highest level of access. CLM user can view reports and participate in any workflows, and the CLM user can create, edit, and upload and share the document. A CLM viewer can only view and upload the document. Similarly, we have a user profile formation for DocuSign e-signature, that is a DocuSign admin, a DocuSign sender, and a DocuSign viewer. Similarly, like CLM admin, the DocuSign admin has the highest access. A DocuSign sender can create a e-signature envelope, and a DocuSign viewer can only view the e-signature envelopes. Based on these profiles, we can create a users. So currently in my org, I have one admin, CLM admin user, and then CLM user. See, you can see this and DocuSign admin. This user has a DocuSign admin feature and a CLM admin feature. Also, we can manage the users from the CLM admin tab. Under the user management, we can manage the users and the groups here. You can see the permission profile for each of the user. Next, let me show you the folder management best practices. For each of the project, that must be a separate folder, and the folder must have an admin folder which has all the configuration files, and a workflow folder to have the workflow configuration file. This is the folder best practice. Then, like dashboards, we can create and assign dashboard to specific user. This dashboard is created as a personal dashboard which will be viewable to the current user which I am using. This is the recent folder view. This is the watch list, and we can add more widgets from this folder. Similarly, for report, we can create report. So I have created one workflow overview report. See the status of the sales contract workflow. Here we can see the status of the workflow and the workflow initiated by which user and the duration of the workflow. Then the documents used in the workflow, and then the attributes used in the workflow. And I've also created a document report where we can see the attributes used in a document and created by and the description of the document, the attributes used in the document. This reports helps us to view the status of a workflow or document, and these reports can be added to a dashboard. Here is the list of contacts which I'm using. These contacts can be a non-DocuSign user, and we can add them for workflows for assigning emails or anything. And this is the mailing list where we can add the contacts for a combined mailing group. Next, we'll proceed with the deployment steps. Under the admin account management tab, we can see deployment. A deployment is a process of deploying the components from one org to the production org. Here we need to name the package. We have certain settings that comes with the package. If we need to auto install the package, we need to check this in checkbox. If there is a existing object, if we need to override the existing object, we need to check this checkbox. We have account branding settings like the color and the features for an account, and we have account level navigation tab menus and toolbars which are present in this org can be deployed to production org. Similarly, we have the folder attribute groups, forms, smart rules, report, workflow, task groups. We can deploy everything here by selecting. If I want to deploy a folder, I have to click the select folder and choose the folder that I need for deployment time. So if we need to include the documents, attributes, and the group history, we need to check these boxes and select a storage location where the document package needs to be deployed. And once the package has been created, we can download the package and deploy it to the production org. Let's go with the document configuration. So under the admin tab, here we can create attributes. Here we can create forms and configure the forms. And here we can create the workflows. This is the form which I've used for generating the sales contract workflow. I have imported the data from the Salesforce object, and with this merge tags, I've used the merge tag in the template, which will populate the value. And under the configuration, I can configure the template or the form which I've used. With this if any of these is selected, the sales contract legal workflow will be launched. And I have used this configuration in Salesforce. So I have selected Salesforce. I have given save. So that's it with the demonstration. Thank you.